Hey everybody, it's Peter, and we just had episode 21, season 5 of Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D., The Force of Gravity. And if you're new here, don't forget, hit subscribe, hit notifications. I do post on a weekly basis. On to the episode, which is basically a Glenn Talbot episode. All you want to know about gravitonium or graviton. So most of the episode is Talbot trying to say he thinks he's going to save the world, and as Coulson put it, he's still delusional, which is the best way to put it. I call him stupid, but delusional is one because he thinks I can save the world and you're all in my way and I'm going to save the day and I'm going to stop Thanos. And there is again another slight hint to Infinity Wars. I had half a thought too in next week's episode because there was a hint if you haven't seen Infinity Wars yet, but at the end scene credit, this is a spoiler, but you get to see what happens to the 50-50 of Thanos, snapping his fingers and everybody goes away. So I'm wondering if they're going to do a tie-in because there was a newscast of what was going on in New York. And I thought, oh, Talbot's up to something. Like, no, there's something else going on the TV. Look, and they're showing some of the footage. I think it might be. I can't remember if it was the footage from the spaceship when it was Doctor Strange and Iron Man and all that good stuff were defending against the children of Thanos. There could be a tie-in to S.h.i.e.L.D. We don't know. Yeah, so just Talbot thinks he's going to save the world. And I noticed, too, he's almost like a poor man's Magneto because there are some scenes when they're firing bullets at him and he can actually circle the bullets around him. So I guess it's like a gravity effect. He actually crashes cars because there's a scene where he goes back home to see his wife and kid. And I don't know how far away the lighthouse is and where Talbot lives, but they got there pretty fast as a response team. But he did the whole thing, too. He almost literally like, wonk, wonk, and I was waiting for him to say, you homo sapiens on your guns. That was more of a Sean Connery than an Ian McKellen, but you know what I mean. Meanwhile, we remember last episode, Daisy did get captured and taken to the Kree. It was actually Papa Kree, Papa Cassius. He was talking with her and confronting her, and she thought, oh, I'm going to take this guy out. And like, hey, why aren't my powers working? And he's like, oh, I'm actually talking to telepathically. And then you see her being dragged with some goons. She's got some little thing on her forehead. Looks like one of the guys from Stargate with their little forehead pieces. And it's like an inhibitor, just puts her out, but enables telepathic communications with Papa Smurf. But she breaks free from that with her quake powers. She actually beats up a bunch of the Marauders, takes them out. Meanwhile, back at the lighthouse, we've got Fitzsimmons trying to figure out how to use the DNA from Daisy's mom's bones, combine it with the centipede formula, and see if they can't save Coulson with that. Meanwhile, back on the spaceship, Coulson still had his funky hand. He could do all his things with it. Him and May were trapped in a cell. They actually figured out a way to get out because he actually has an x-ray machine in his hand, so that was a bit of a cheat. They thought they're going to get it out, and actually when they thought they're going to punch through the door, Deke shows up, gets them out of the prison. They're running around. Quovas and his goons are still in another part of the ship on the bridge. So May and Deke are trying to make their way to the bridge. Of course, it's a maze. They don't know which way they're going, and I thought Deke said, I thought you know how to spell Kree. I know how to count up to 5. That was it, which comes in handy later in the story. They later bump into Daisy, who got away from her guards and has been, quaking everybody and kung fu fighting. Lots of kung fu fighting in this. You got Daisy beating up on goons. You've got May later on beating up on somebody. Does a one-on-one with Kovas, which is kind of cool. Finally get everybody back together. We've got Daisy. Now Daisy shows up, so what they're going to do is they're going to split up, and like Coulson's like, we're going to go this way, and May's just like, no, you're going back to Earth. We're going to stay here with Deke, because we're going to figure out there was also missiles being launched at the lighthouse. We have to defeat that. Just before the pairing, there's a couple of neat things. Like you saw Captain America didn't have his shield in the movie. He got the Wakanda shields. Coulson still has his Captain America shield. Scene where they're going to be shot at by a bunch of bad guys. He activates the shield and he kisses May. And then Daisy comes running around the corner in slow motion, and she's just like, what? After all that, he's just like, see, I told you that would shut you up now. You go save the day. I'm going to go with Daisy. We're going to get off this thing. Daisy's just like, and then Coulson's like, not a word. That's an order, Agent Johnson. He almost kills his wife. He's scaring the shit out of his son because he's just like, Daddy's the good guy. He's talking all crazy, delusional. He's like, no, Daddy. And eventually the son says, no, Daddy, you're the bad guy. When somebody's going a little cuckoo, or cray-cray, as the kids say, they're not all there and they think they're doing good and they're not. After the confrontation, though, with the shootout and the guns and the cars, Talbot just takes off. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, too. Before he goes home, what he does is he actually finds Carl Creel and absorbs him. It's like, yow. So now he's got more gravitonium in the system. And I thought he was actually going to get more gravitonium to give the Quovas, but I think he still has his own game plan. He's not going to do with anything with the Confederation. What we're left with at the end of the episode, long story short, is Fitzsimmons has come up with something they can do with the centipede formula and the DNA to make something to maybe save Coulson. But they only have enough of the serum to either A, save Coulson, or if they weaponize it, they can stop Talbot. So that's where we're left. What's going to happen? And again, you have to wait till the last episode, the end, and see what it's going to be. And there's already been people online going like, "Oh, hashtag 6 seasons and a movie" kind of thing. Again, I personally say if they ended now, that's fine, because we've been to space, we've been underwater, we've been here, we've been there, everywhere with the S.h.i.e.L.D. team, and it still really hasn't gotten any better. With some of season 5 was okay. Like I keep saying, Rewind was cool because that was Hunter and Fitz. That was a cool episode. Both of those guys kicking ass, taking names. That was a fun episode. Again, we got everybody moping around. Mac is still moping with Yo-Yo. I wish, really, if anything, if we keep a season 6, we get rid of Mac and Yo-Yo, because those are the two most depressing characters ever. I still like Fitzsimmons. May's more toned down. And actually, Daisy, too. Daisy's also a big complainer, too. That's all this half the show is. It's not even people saving the day. It's people whining like crazy. Agents of nap time or something, because that's all these people do half the time. There's not the energy, the feel, everything. It feels like when I finish a work day, doing yard work or something, I'm ready to pass, have a nap. That's the level of energy I'm finding with this show. It's just like everything is like, we're gonna bonk. And that's how the show feels to me. So they got to do something else. They got to change it up or whatever. I'm surprised with, this is a Whedon production too. And, he's done so many other good shows, not always so long as like Dollhouse and things like that didn't make out. Well, we figured he did Buffy and Angel. The man knows how to write TV, and his siblings. So again, as always, what did you guys think? Did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? My episode, did you like it? Did you not like it? Don't forget, if you're new here, hit subscribe, hit notifications. Do post on a weekly basis, and we will see you next week and see what happens with the conclusion of this series. And I will be doing Westworld as well. I might also do a spoiler, Infinity War. So until then, see you in the next one.